Hello and welcome back to another episode of Wrong Ones Podcast. I'm Dinesh Sagi, joined by Amar and Punk. How are we, gents?
Hello, guys.
Yeah, good man.
I'm sure you're good. Obviously, some big news coming out of IPL. As we all know, KL Rahul made a massive impact on his homecoming in Bangalore, the big game between RCB and DC. A lot of expectations, but obviously, KL Rahul stole the show. Before we get into the details of the game, my question, something I've raised during the auction, and I'm raising again. Should RCB would have considered or should have considered KL Rahul at the time of auctioning? Because they haven't even tried to bid for him.
They should have,
Hmm.
I'm surprised, and like he gels well with Kohli.
Yes.
It would have been a good, like even his brand value would have, helped. He's a local boy, and KL did the best when he was in RCB in
Yep.
2016, if you
Absolutely. That's
remember
why he
that
scored a
final.
century as well, right?
Yeah, and when he opened and the ground suits his thing. Small grounds, you don't need to be a power hitter to hit those sixes.
Hmm.
Right. And one reason why Bangalore, the sixes just fly off, like Chris Gill, if you remember, is because the air is comparatively thinner, because it's above ground level. It's
Hmm.
how many thousand feet above ground compared to the other
Yes.
grounds.
Hmm.
So that's why it flies a lot. So ideal conditions for him to be there. I'm surprised by RCB, they did not bid for him, and like he's just shown that and it was basically showing to the management that you
Hmm.
know what a mistake they've done,
Pang,
Yeah,
sorry,
and
Amar, do you
and
agree?
they had the money as well,
yeah, I was just going to say that it is his home ground, and I'm surprised that Punk didn't mention that it is his home ground as well. He was talking about all the air and everything, and he has spent quite a lot of time there.
Hmm.
So he underneath he is also an RCB supporter. Looks like.
Yeah.
Um,
And most importantly, just on that note, right? I did mention this to Punk in the past, and Punk suggested I should refrain from using any connection between Punk and Bangalore because of his history and of some of his past in Bangalore. So that's why we don't discuss too much about it. Now he's a married man, so
okay, so yeah,
all right,
KL Rahul
continue.
is yeah, it's a home ground. He did stress that after he made his 93 today, and what a brilliant innings. Of course, after he was dropped, uh, it was difficult, which Padikkal turned into a chance and then dropped it. It was a difficult catch, but nonetheless,
It was
absolutely
Rajat
brilliant
actually
innings.
who dropped the catch,
It was
and
Patidar.
it was a
Yeah,
very
Patidar.
difficult.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, it was
He
Patidar.
ran backwards. It's slightly difficult.
Yes, yeah, that's what. It's a difficult chance which he turned into a possible chance and then dropped it. So, um, but incredible innings, a statement innings, and he won the match, which was almost you can say lost, a low scoring match, but it was almost a loss. But KL Rahul was um, absolutely brilliant today, and he looked like he was determined to do it.
Mhm.
So yeah, the question, it looks like that was the ground he was always comfortable playing, and he knows each and every corner of that. So, and the pitch as well. So yeah, I'm surprised RCB did not go for him.
Mhm. I mean, my only impression of this is maybe they didn't want another batter similar to Kohli style, who sort of buy some time and then accelerate. They wanted someone who can just take off from ball one. So that's where they probably decided to go with Phil Salt, spend that extra money, bring him in, and maybe also have that keeper combination. But irrespective, KL could have started in the middle order as well, and still have that backup keeper slot. I'm sure he could have done better than Liam Livingston.
Like
No offense, but
s-
that he's not contributing in any way. So.
I'm a bit surprised actually. Like the
Mhm.
thing with KL, right? If you see his score in Bangalore,
Mhm.
especially, it's the strike rate is like huge, right? But yeah, your point like is taken, right? But like if see, KL is no more just a batsman.
Hmm.
He is your technically a wicket keeper, right?
Yep. Hmm.
Now having an Indian wicket keeper who can actually open for you is a luxury, you
Hmm.
see. And you see KL's performance like was really good, like in terms of, and see he's a consistent batsman, right? So he gives you that thing. I'm like, I was a bit surprised, with because Kohli is the only guy they have, you know, and there's no other Indian apart from Rajat Patidar, right?
Yeah.
They didn't have an Indian core, right? If you have a good Indian core, those teams always win. You
Hmm.
see,
Yeah.
it is not your foreign, who will take you, foreigners who will make you win those.
Hmm.
You might qualify here and there, but you will never win those, IPL trophies. You look at Mumbai, look at Chennai. They had like core Indian guys, right, who were always there. If you look at 23, IPL, which we remember, right, you had Ajinkya, you had Ambati Raidu, you had Jadeja, you had Dhoni. These are like, your core international quality batsmen,
Hmm.
right? You had Ritu, so top notch, yeah. Uh, if you just like tell me in RCB, who's your Indian core?
Yeah.
You see, they don't have Indian cores, right? For years, like 18 years, they had to rely on De Villiers, Gale. You see, they didn't, and this you had like Kohli. That's
Hmm.
it.
Yeah.
And this has been like, it's not us talking about this. This has been, everybody's talked about it. And I've just like last part, this thing we also raised that apart from Rajat Patil, I think so he might be closing towards 1,000 runs.
Hmm.
There's no other Indian batsman for RCB who has scored 1,000 runs. You see,
Yeah.
that's how bad they have been.
Hmm.
So you cannot, you're only restricted to 4 players. And this is in cricket, right? One game you might, there's a lot of chances that out of this four, one or two will always be, not in form.
Hmm.
So you'll always have to carry one or two guys, right?
Yeah.
And not having a good Indian core, so it's the seven others, right?
Hmm.
Mostly Kohli is technically always there and around, right?
Yeah.
The other six have not been performing because nobody has scored so many runs or
Hmm.
taken those wickets. So this is the problem with this. Like, and coming back to KL's this thing, right? So he got nervous, right, in terms of because back of the mind, what's happening with all these players, right? We have to go hard. We have to go hard,
Hmm.
and that shot was like, it was not necessary, right?
Yeah.
After that shot, he calmed down. He was like close to 27, 28 balls, 28 runs,
Hmm.
100 strike rate. And then he just calmed down and he realized that, okay, I am there, I should be carrying on. Maybe Stubb was there as well, right? So, and you see, I did message, right, till the 14th over, if they score till 99 or 100 runs, that was my target. If they score till 100 runs, they will easily cross it.
Yeah.
You see, because they had like two other batsmen below. Vipraj can bat, and then you had
Hmm.
Ashutosh as well, right? And they did somewhat like what I had predicted that they will be doing that, and they did that. And KL, if you see, he did not go for an unnecessary shots. Same with Stubbs as well, right? You see some of the shots which Stubbs hit was all grounded fours and all that, and the ones which he took risk was really straight. So he did
Hmm.
not like the risk was like they minimized the risk for that up to the 14 overs, and after that they opened out because they knew now we can accelerate, and they just, and Bangalore does give you that option to accelerate because of and the other thing is, this was again slightly a sticky wicket,
Hmm.
and if Bangalore would have scored, they were looking for 200 plus, right? They should have looked for like 180, 185, and they would have won this game. So you see,
Yeah.
until unless the other team does not bat, right, you don't understand what's happening. The thing is like, it's very important for the batsman to adjust very quickly to understand this is not like a 220 pitch. You look at and where
Hmm.
the opening like team, if the batsmen do not adjust very quickly, right, and they go full on, this is what happens. You don't even reach par scores. So this is something which the team have to understand. Same with SRH has done that. They have not understood like the sticky pitches, right? They go for, oh, we have to score 250. Not all matches are won by
Mhm.
200 plus. Some matches can be won by 185, 190 if there's a slightly sticky wicket,
Yeah.
right? So
Mhm.
yeah, but brilliant the way KL came back, after that nervous energy, which you could see a bit, and
Mhm.
then like was he just showed his class. Like one of the best innings I've seen this IPL, right? To actually
Yeah.
accelerate, just to give you, the first 29 balls, like 30 balls, right? It was like around that 100 strike rate, and the next 15, 20 balls, he scored around 30, 40 runs.
Mhm.
That was the acceleration he's done to
Yeah.
get the team. So brilliant, what a innings, man.
Yeah, no. So I was about to say, like, obviously, a good homecoming for KL Rahul, where he sort of owned the home conditions, and then obviously, delivered a match-winning performance. On the flip side, RCB still couldn't take advantage of their home conditions. I mean, recently, obviously, they went to Chennai, won a game after like God knows 15 years, whatever, and then recently at Wankhede, again away win, but then coming back home, and especially the sort of
So
start they have,
you know
they've smacked like a star
we
left,
need
right, and
to
center.
point
They
this out. The games they
Silkon
have
especially.
won is Rajat Patidar. The RCB, the game
Mhm.
which they won in CSK was Rajat Patidar. Last year he carried the entire team, yeah, and got them to that. And again, the CSK game which they won, it was Rajat Patidar who actually took them. If CSK would have got his like catch, right, it would have been a very different game. So what I'm saying is today Rajat Patidar failed,
Yeah, I was about to
and
say, like,
he is the spin
as a
hitting
team.
guy.
Hmm.
He's your spin. And like yesterday when we asked, like, why you, like, naturally we pick up one of our teams, right? Took
Hmm.
DC was only because I felt like they had a good spin attack
Hmm.
compared to what the other guy had, right? So you had like Akshar naturally didn't do well, but if you see, they had like Vipraj who has been taking wickets, and then the legend Kuldeep, right? What a, and this is what has happened, right? So, and with Stark getting into form, that he will be there around about, so that is the only difference I had felt in the team. And if it's a spin attack only, actually, they got it right. So yeah, definitely, it's Rajat Patidar. If it does not score against the spin, right, uh, they're going to struggle. I just want to give a quick stat as well, right? Look at the first 4 overs and
Hmm.
look at the last 2 overs. Yeah, it was close to you see, and the middle overs.
Yeah.
In the middle overs, they hardly scored 60 runs.
Hmm.
I'm talking about like close to 12 overs or something. There's hardly scored any runs. Even they
Hmm.
would have got they would have gone to 180. So just imagine how bad they are if they don't have good spin hitters in between. And
Yeah.
Rajat getting out actually changed the entire scenario for them. Or it would
Hmm.
have been 185, 190 plus. So there was nobody else who could hit Kuldeep and Vipraj.
Yeah. But at what point do they realize this? Because I mean, you can't win home games, then you pretty much like would struggle finishing in the top four. Obviously, that hasn't happened for RCB so far. But when you see other teams start picking up points, then this can prove costly. And
Absolutely.
especially that middle order. I still don't get RCB's thought process in terms of playing Liam Livingston every game.
Yeah, it's a curious case of RCB home win percentage, isn't it?
Hmm.
Right at the start as well, when we discussed the squad, we did mention that they have to improve on their home wins, which is
Yeah. Hmm.
lower than 50%. If it's as simple as if you can't master your home, you always going to struggle. I mean, how many matches are you going to win outside,
Yeah.
away matches? There's always, other teams are good at their home. You can win one match, but then with the other matches you have, you will probably lose. So first thing is, whenever you pick your team, you make sure that you know your home conditions and pick teams according to your home conditions. You have to make your home a fortress, which
Hmm.
in a way, if you think about it, I also say this as a curious case, because if you think about shorter boundaries, thin air, whatever, but you have hitters like Phil Salt, Virat Kohli, Liam Livingston. These guys are there who can easily just by their timing, forget about the power, just by their timing they can clear the boundary easily. And maybe that is playing, that has a role which has played in this. Every other ball they try to hit it out of the park. And
Mhm.
some of the dismissals were just you know very strange. I mean, most of the balls were, they skied most of the balls, and then they were out that way. So I don't know. Today KL Rahul, when he batted, he showed them how to bat in that ground, on that pitch. You don't have
Mhm.
to swing your bat, especially on that ground, because the boundaries are not that big. So you just need to time the ball, and that's it.
Absolutely.
That will give you runs. And these guys like Virat Kohli, who, when Virat and Phil Salt were batting at the
Mhm.
start, um, Virat Kohli is not a guy who bludgeons the ball. He times the ball, and he kind
Yeah.
of places them all. And many a times we have seen in the past as well. You see a defensive kind of shot from Virat Kohli, and it flies off over the rope. So they
Mhm.
have to think about this. Maybe it's the approach that they're taking, and maybe also when a batsman is playing, and he's on the pitch, the boundaries look so close, because of the, maybe it was the ropes or the seating arrangement, how it is. Maybe it looks quite closer to you,
Mhm.
and they
You
try
mean in the
try
sense
and
they
hit.
think they can actually clear the boundary without
Yeah,
realizing?
clear the boundary, but they're
Yeah.
they're not even, they're not hitting it cleanly. That's the problem
Yes.
there. So
Mhm.
they're going for it, and then getting out. But it's the approach, it's the mindset they have to go with. Today was the perfect example. They should learn from KL Rahul's innings, and they should absolutely copy that one, and then they should be good.
Uh, Another challenge they have is with number three spot, Particle. Like, yes, he did have a good couple of games, but then his form's like a big concern in the top order. Because
See,
time and again we
with
said, right, RCB has to score runs. That's the only way they can win games. Their bowling is not as good as some of the other squads, and in RCB, 200, 220 can also be chased. So it's always important for them to score those big runs.
Yeah, Puran and Tilak, isn't it? That's what what needs to happen there on
And the
that
number three, yeah.
number three.
Hmm. Sorry, Punky.
like I was like, see, the 4 overs, like, 61 runs, and last 2 overs 36 runs. Yeah,
Hmm.
that is close to 100 runs.
Yeah.
The rest, that's 6 overs gone. 14 overs, they've hardly scored 65 odd runs. That's like
Hmm.
close to 18. Even if they got run a ball, right, they would have
Yeah.
got to 180, 185.
Hmm.
You see, the problem here is like with Particle, and I've told you, right. So he has to bat under the power play. And if you see last time when the Phil Salt got out, or I don't know, whoever went out, right, he got an opportunity to play 4 5 overs, right, and that's where he scored that runs. So if he is coming after the power play, or just, he needs time to actually take that, play few balls, and like, the gaps are not there. So he's not a power hitter as such. Okay. So this is where you have to understand, where, who bats where. you know if you want to carry Particle, then you have to see that he needs to open the innings, have a left right combination. And Kohli can come at one. Kohli still has that power hitting in him, better than Particle. We have seen how Kohli can accelerate, right? And even a wicket falls. This could also open up Particle and Phil Salt to just go more hammer and tongs, because you have Kohli to, if the wicket falls, then they can just understand what it is, and then take that going forward. Right? The other thing is, again, today's strategy. What I see, when they lost so many wickets, they should have sent a Kunal Pandya above Livingston, right? Keep your power hitters to come in the last 15 overs, from the 15th over onwards. Keep the 5 overs where you had like Tim David, and Tim David just showed what he could do in the last 2 overs, getting 36 runs, right? If you had like Livingston and Tim David there, they could have easily scored like 70 odd runs in that 30 balls. So sometimes you have to understand, if too many wickets fall, right, just send a guy who can actually take you to that 100 120 runs till the 15th over, or at least 100 runs as well, right? with a strike rate of 6.5, 7.5, you can still strike 70 to 80 runs with those power hitters. But if your power hitters go away in the the spin department and they try to go away, then it's a challenge. It
Yeah,
all
and
depends, at what point you want to bring them in. They lost so many wickets, the runs were not there, so you have to drag it up to that thing, and then get your power hitters. So they have to understand when to push your power hitters at what point of time. It has to be strategically decided. You just can't do it like, okay, this is the lineup, I'll just send it. It doesn't work.
yeah, but I mean, Liam is a big concern because he's batting at number 5, and that is one of the most important positions there. You can kind of make and break your innings. That's the position where most of the time you are either starting to hit, or you just need a couple of overs and then you have to hit. But Liam is failing more than he's succeeding.
For
So
me,
there is
sorry, Amar, I'll let you finish.
no, I was just saying that maybe they need to bring him down, as Punk is saying. Bring him down. Send Jitesh before Liam. Last time we saw how well he batted, giving a little bit more responsibility. Um, Liam is a failure in this lineup for me, to be honest.
Absolutely,
I
yeah.
would like to put Kunal above. The reason why I'm saying is, like, you see, the only left-handers is Padikkal and Kunal in that lineup. After the eight. Okay, and I've told you, like, that left right, especially when the spin comes in between that overs from 6 to 14, right? Most of the spinners around that time, 6 to 15 overs, right? They, if you have a left right, you can still continue. And with Rajat Patidar, he can smack you around, and Kunal can be your combination to make sure that, like, the runs are still going on. And then you have like three great power hitters below, you know. So if Rajat goes out, the next power hitter comes in, then the next power hitter comes in, and Kunal can still continue, taking that this thing. So you don't lose that wickets, but you have a power hitter one hand, and you have somebody who can actually manage the spin. If somebody gets stuck with the offs, because these are right-handers, right? And if there's a leggy, right, they can easily take singles and give the Kunal to strike, you see. So that helps. But they need to see how they can use Kunal when there's a collapse in the, because that guy has been able to, he's not a muck with the bat, so that could also help. They have the batting lineup number 8, man. That's crazy batting.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't help if you have like 10 batsmen and everyone decides to, like, bat the same way, and no one's sort of
Yeah,
taking
you need to
responsibility,
have
right?
somebody to, yeah.
Yeah, and the point I was trying to make earlier, Amar, when I was trying to interrupt, is the same thing. I think Jitesh should bat up the order. He's familiar with the conditions, and he is someone who can play the long innings and also whack if needed. And also, personally, for me, I think Liam Livingston should be the impact sub. He shouldn't be the first pick. He should be the impact sub. Start with 3 foreigners: Hazelwood, Salt, and who's the third guy who's been playing every game now? Now I'm blanking
Tim.
out. Tim David,
No,
yes. Tim David. Those three
yeah,
should be
yeah.
the immediate picks. And the fourth, depending on the situation, they can pick between Jacob Bethel, Liam Livingston, and Romario Shepherd. Because Romario Shepherd can clear this boundary, he can bowl some
Yes.
medium pace. So that's where they'll have to look at that flexibility rather than always making sure this guy is playing every game. I mean, no offense, 5 games, one game after being dropped multiple times, he scored a 50. Apart from that, I haven't seen any contribution from him. And he's
Yeah, and
actually taken up
also,
one of the spots as well.
and when he bowled, he gave 14 runs in 1 over. So
Yeah.
I mean, this is time they have to think about this, and maybe sit him down, or bring Shepherd.
I'd play
I
Jacob
think
Bethel.
Shepherd is the best
If they
suited
want a
in a
spinner and a lefty combination,
Yes.
get Jacob Bethel in. If not, Romario Shepherd is not a bad choice either. He's similar to Tim David, but yes, he can whack the ball. But yeah, something RCB really need to consider. But back to DC, 4 out of 4, unbelievable,
Yeah,
right?
like, absolutely, man. The first game, they got like out of jail when Rahul was not there.
Hmm.
But with Rahul coming, that we were worried about, like, how this batting was slightly weak, in terms of bowling. We were like, but now with Rahul coming in, it shows that now they have a very good lineup,
Yep.
and they can always, like, if somebody is not working, and Rahul, the thing is, Rahul is always in form in IPL, right? He will always score runs,
And also
irrespective of
provides
the
you,
strike rate. He'll always score runs. I'm not talking about the strike rate here, but
Yeah,
he is there, a guarantee guy who will always give you that, 400, 500 season every year. Okay, so that gives you, like, he's a bank for you, right?
yeah.
Now with this new form where he's he's left captaincy and all that, he's just like somebody has gone to him and, like, he's just opened out completely, and this is what he needs to be now. So just imagine, he can open your innings, and now at number 4 he can show you now, he can also, like, play that anchor role if something collapses. And so they now have a very good strategy now. Is only that they need other guy, especially with the current death bowling, right? Mohit Sharma is doing comparatively very well, but I'm a bit worried about the one bowler they have is Mukesh.
Mukesh
So
Kumar.
that is the yes, that is the only problem I feel currently. The chink in the armor with Mukesh. He has, Mukesh has defended like 4 or 5 runs or 6 runs, if you remember one of those. So if he
Yeah.
can just get that Yorkers and everything right, with Stark really in form up front, with a swing ball, and then he can now he can just blast out the last 3 4 wickets, if so that's good with Stark there. Vipraj, what a guy now. He's like really turning the, he's loopy. He's getting the wickets. He can bat as well. What a find for them. Akshar, like literally, he's in form. And today he after the he did tell that that he made a mistake by hitting the sock. DC basically shouldn't have come into this position. The 3 or 4 wickets was just like, they were giving away the wickets. So Akshar is like, he's getting you those wickets as well. He can bat for you. So they're two good spin all rounders, which rarely you'll find. And Kuldeep being Kuldeep, and that guy is now turning on. So there's that, the only weakness which I can see is like, Mukesh. Sorry, yeah,
Yeah,
Mukesh
Mukesh
Kumar.
Kumar. Yeah.
If they can fix that hole, right, and DC is going to qualify from here onwards. They are going to qualify because they've got all the ingredients which is needed for them. They've got like 6 options, uh, and they can take the game away from anybody with this, right? So, but yeah, it's a
Yep.
brilliant
Let's see
combination
how
they've got now.
things unfold. But yeah, absolutely. They're the team in form and the team to beat. But obviously, tomorrow, big game, CSK home against KKR. And obviously, we've seen the announcement for, Rutraj. Unfortunately, he got injured and he's been ruled out for the rest of the season, which means one of their uncapped players will lead, which obviously, it's big news for a lot of the CSK fans and the franchise, Mahendra Singh Dhoni. So, who's your pick for tomorrow? Two, one, who is going to win, and two, who will replace Rutraj Gaikwad. Amar.
Um, CSK, I'm counting on CSK K here because whatever the reason, it looks like a blessing in disguise. More than the news that Mahendra Singh Dhoni is going to lead, I'm more relieved that Ritu is not leading because of the blunders he has made in captaincy. So it will be more a calmer affair tomorrow, and I think those captaincy decisions will be fine tuned. Whether the batsmen are going to perform, that is another question. I don't expect that to be all all corrected overnight, but I think there will be some important performances. It's all about the mindset, so maybe they just need to have that strike rate in mind, that you in especially in this IPL, you have to have that strike rate. And playing KKR have those explosive batsmen as well. So um although some of their batsmen have been struggling up front, but not more than CSK batters. So they need to have that strike rate in mind. Other than that, the bowling side, because they are very very strong bowling side, is just that the bowling changes were the problem. I think that will be resolved tomorrow. So I'm looking this as a turnaround possible for CSK. Um, Maybe I think the wicket keeper, what's his name, who hasn't been played yet.
Decock.
No,
No,
in CSK.
once Vedi.
Once we,
Once,
I think he should be tried as a batsman, just to see how he goes. Um, I don't know. Is there a replacement that's been announced, or
they
they can
cannot
pick
do
it?
it immediately, right? It takes time, right?
Okay.
So the other challenge is they cannot get a foreigner as well because they've got the full quota of foreigners.
Mm.
Okay, so yeah, it's slightly unlucky, with Rutu because he was your bank, right?
Yeah.
In terms of runs, and I was just looking at the match he got hurt was in Guwahati, right? And that match he
Mm-hmm.
scored around 60 odd runs. Then the next two matches, you could see he just got like 1 or 5 runs. That's it, right? He was struggling. I'm surprised that why they could have like dropped him if they knew, but most probably what I'm hearing from this thing, he wanted to continue with painkillers and all that till they got the MRI done.
Yeah.
So naturally they're traveling. So when you're traveling, it's quite difficult to get those,
Mm-hmm.
the reports and all that. So by the time the reports came in, it's a hairline fracture which takes at least 2 months to. It's not like a bone crack or something. It's just a hairline thing, right? So it'll take around 2 months for him to recover. So mostly this season is gone for him. Now the only challenge with CSK is that he was the only guy who looked in form, compared to the entire lineup. Uh, and now to get somebody is going to be a challenge. So I would rather go with a newbie, okay,
Yeah.
and just to strengthen my lineup, I would like look to get a Huda instead of Ashwin
Mhm.
because he's an off spinner and Ashwin is the off spinner, right? And with Chennai, you have the two spinners, Noor and the other guy,
Jadu, you mean?
Jadeja,
Mhm.
and then even Rachin as well. So you got like luxury of four. You don't need three specialist spinners. You got four spinners in the squad, and Huda being there, right? That can cover up the new ones, right? And ones can go up and open the order.
Yeah.
Rachin can bat at three, and that could be the way they should go about. I don't know, like CSK is saying they'll bring in Tripathi and Huda, which is going to be a challenge for them. I don't see Huda being the guy who can actually, do a Ruturaj. He can be a power hitter, but you have to like they need to elongate the batting lineup. And CSK, I think so. This is the entire history of CSK in the last 17-18 years.
Mhm.
This is the shortest batting they have ever had. They always used to bat till number 9, number 10. Even the number 11 guy could tonk, with the impacts of their backing till 7. So, and that is one reason why they're struggling. Uh, the intent is not there because you can see, okay, your batting is still 7, and after that, it's more or less gone. Uh, and you saw this being a bit slow, and it's putting a burden on the low order batsmen as well. So one option is to like get Ashwin out and then bring in a Huda instead of Ashwin. So that gives you a batting till 8, and also the cover with once way the opening. That also gives, if suppose he does not do well, you still have the 7 odd batsmen to actually take the game forward. But I would love to see they giving a chance for a younger batsman rather than going with Rahul Tripathi, because he's got nervous energy this season. He's going to create the nervous energy throughout the batting lineup. It will feel like the ball is a 130 ball will look like 150. And the spin, which is like 1 degree, will look like 5 degrees spin. So, the batsman who opens the innings, they need to give that sense of comfort to the next batsman who are coming in. And that nervous energy is really bad for the entire team.
Yeah, and the new guys in other teams have performed really well. They have taken
Why not?
they have taken the opportunity with both hands. So why not just CSK try Vansh Bedi as well, and that way you can have him in a wicket keeper in before before Dhoni, you can say, retire, because I don't know, with his injury, with the tournaments progressing, it's not going to be easy on his knees anyway. So at any point, they have to be ready with a backup keeper. So once ready, they should give him an opportunity to bat, and a match practice as well.
And just to get you, like, that guy, just 2024 Delhi Premier League, right? He was the highest scoring runs. He was hitting sixes of fun in the DPL, right? An average
Yeah,
of
him and
44.5 in that. Yeah.
Priyansh Arya were like
Once Vedi.
most run
Yeah.
getters.
And like, if he's been picked up, right, you are actually, and this is a good opportunity for him to come. And as I've told, right, they could just like keep a backup with this thing, and Ashwin can take a backseat, right? And it's a good opportunity for Ashwin to take a backseat, because now, whatever the fans and like, the Anna fans can just take, because of what has happened with Ritu, it's a cover up, right? And Dhoni can always come in the presentation and give us those views. I hope he's listening to us.
Yeah, we'd hope so. But yeah, let's see how things unfold. But yeah, hopefully, things are brighter for CSK starting tomorrow under the winning champion,
the
MS
the
Dhoni.
real OG of captains.
The real OG of captains, yes. On
Dinesh,
that
I'll
note,
send you I did
who's your
send you a
pick?
screenshot, right? He was a captain when there was seniors. He was captain when there was juniors. He was captain with his colleagues. Now he's captain with the next generation. That's some language.
Yeah, he's the captain when Bedi makes his debut. So that will be.
yeah.
Dinesh, who's your pick?
My pick's going to be CSK tomorrow. I think they have a point to prove, and with obviously MS leading, I think they'll make it count.
The only thing I'm thinking is all my picks, every single one for last week or so, for last 10 days has been wrong. Every single one.
Don't worry, your fellow
Then
mate
pick
MS
up the other
Dhoni is
one. I'll
going to
pick up.
prove it
Yeah,
right
exactly.
tomorrow.
The only
Cool.
worry, like, just give the 30 seconds. Right? The only worry with them is they do have good quality spinners, right? With Chakravarti, and he is from Tamil Nadu, right? So they, and in CSK, the only spin hitter is the one guy, Dubey, and Rutu. So these two not being there is a dicey situation there. Just to
Yeah.
let people know.
Yeah, but whatever it is, I'm going. I'm expecting to CSK to turn up tomorrow. There will be
Absolutely.
slightly different approach, so
Fired up,
that
yeah.
that will be a good thing to see. And then the magic happens when
Dhoni is there.
CSK is bowling second or fielding second, and then that magic of bowling changes. We can and the fielding, specialist fielding arrangements can be seen. So let's hope for the best.
Yeah, big expectations. Hopefully,
In the
things.
words of Saurav Ganguly, right? When Dhoni is a captain, he is a different beast.
Yeah, that's what Raidu said as well. So let's see.
We have to contain Raidu tomorrow.
Hopefully, I hope he doesn't get tomorrow's game.
And
because we
Jagan
know
as well.
what happened. Yes. Yeah,
Raidu
let's
and
see how
Jagan.
things unfold for both Raidu and
Yeah.
Jagan tomorrow, irrespective
Yeah.
of CSK performs. But on that note, thank you, gents, as always, for our viewers, subscribers, whoever you are. Always, like we say, share any feedback, any insights. It's always appreciated. And then over to you, Amar.
And hit the bell icon. Yeah.
Thank you. Have a good night, gents.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye bye.